Alright, welcome to Altitude, and welcome to a new series. And that might sound confusing, considering this is a standalone map, but believe me, we're going to call this series the One Map WAD Alphabet, which may be a completely stupid idea, but what I want to do is, I've been really into just playing like standalone maps, just these one map WADs, or at least like, it doesn't necessarily have to be one map, just like WADs that center around one map, like with a bonus map too, you know, without an exit, you know, those kinds of WADs, like those kinds of WADs. And I want to max one that why is this so hard to explain? One that starts with each letter of the alphabet, and of course, altitude starting with A, next will be B, then C, then D, you get the idea. So yeah, the one map WAD alphabet. And I'm mostly doing this for skill improvement. First secret here, if you lower the crate, reveals a switch, which lowers wall, which reveals an arch vial and a plasma, and I like to go behind the arch vial and grab the plasma. Usually I kill him with the plasma, but unfortunately he was just not cooperating, but that's okay. Plenty of health in this outside area. So yeah, one map WAD alphabet. I hope it's a I don't know. This is my first time doing something like experimental like this. Usually all my series are just WADs. So yeah, hopefully just spicing things up a little. A few tankier enemies in this outside area that you gotta kill with shotgun and chain gun, but really not that many, so not a big deal whatsoever. And because altitude, there's some enemies really high up as well. And we got some really tall buildings. This map was made by Tourniquet, who you may know for making things like Miasma, Mutabor, and yeah. So that means this map is super non-linear, super fun to route, and yeah, Tourniquet just makes really, really good maps. And by the way, I have not commentated anything in a month, so first of all, I apologize for the complete lack of commentated videos. And second of all, if that means my commentary game is weak, I know people hate me saying this, but if my commentary game is weak, then I apologize. I blame the lack of me making videos. Completely my fault. Frankly, I was getting a little burnt out, so I took a bit of a break. But now, back, and hopefully better than ever. So first area I like to go to is this area over here, and here's a part where I make a mistake that literally lasts the entire map. That rev missile, that high damage roll right there. Nice 1% health, by the way. I definitely thought I was going to die there, but 1%, all you need. So yeah, this area gives you the red skull. And I do this area first because it gives you a BFG, and I want that as soon as possible because it just makes, honestly, the rest of the fights a lot easier. And yeah, but as you can tell from the 1%, it is a pretty tricky area. Got some hit scanners in the corridor. That's the switch you gotta press in order to get the BFG, so we got to get the red skull first, which the red skull can be found in the next area here. A few specters, just SSG them down, and we got an E2 M6 Halls of the Damned like area. Shotgunners, specters. Thankfully you can actually like see well in here. And a bunch of switches open up in a sequence. But what I do is I just run around in loops, hit the switches, kill all the stuff. You get the idea. And there's like 5 switches in this area, so I think that's number 4. Last one should be coming up. I think that's the last one. I believe. There could be a 6th, I don't really remember. Yeah, that's it. And then this corridor opens up with the red skull. But oh, you sink down into the floor. You can get yourself a plasma. And we got just some hordes of enemies here on the blood floor. It's a really cool area though. The entire floor, the entire area just sinks down. So your main threats here are obviously the Archviles, another high damage roll from the Revs. I took a lot of high damage Revenant rolls in the first like few minutes of this, and it honestly cost me so much like time and health throughout the map. Like that's another one. I probably could have dodged that, but whatever. Like the first few minutes I play like absolute garbage. But once we get to BFG the map becomes significantly easier, so yeah. Just plasma stuff down. And I want to save a few cells because there's 3 Archviles in this area. We've killed 1. Usually a second one likes to show up roaming free, so I do want to save some cells for that guy. So just don't go nuts with the plasma. Use some SSG. And there's a bunch of ammo in the other areas where enemies came from. And the second Archvile is right there. And a third one, but the third one usually gets stuck in that little area there, so no need to worry about him. I didn't do a lot of practicing, but every time I did this fight, that third Archvile got stuck in that little switch area, so yeah. More than likely, you won't have to worry about him. Pressing the switch lets you leave. Just some lost souls, chain gun them down. And I'm backtracking to see if there's any more ammo, and to grab that secret, shoot the wall. It's a bit of a stupid secret. It's marked by the metal on the outsides, but yeah. And you gotta shoot the wall in order to open it up. It's probably the most stupid secret in the map. But considering there's 12 secrets, and yeah, that doesn't really say much. All the secrets are pretty well hidden, though they're not complete BS to find. That's probably the most BS secret. And I believe the only one I like actually missed in my casual playthrough, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Tourniquet loves doing this, by the way. You go into a corridor and then the wall opens up to your side, reveals a few enemies. Most of the time you can just backtrack and then peekaboo shoot them though. Pressing the switch raises some stairs so you can go to the other side. But when you open up the door, an Archvile is released. I use a few rockets on him and finish him off with SSG. But he'll probably resurrect the chain gunners. And you can find a cell, an energy cell, where he was, which is pretty nice. Another secret here, the painting is actually an SP face, and it lowers a lift for another cell pack, and it reveals an Archvile which you have no cover from, so if you do get zapped, oh well. Just gotta pray for a stun, basically. And now, more stairs have risen. You can kill the Arachnotrons from way up above. You can actually go onto the ground floor, but killing these Arachnotrons from up above is just a lot easier in my opinion. Chain gun down some snipers. That Cacodemon can't cross the metal pillar, by the way, because there's actually some enemies in there that'll raise up in the next fight. Another Arachnotron and a few Spectres on the ground here. This map absolutely loves Spectres. And I gotta say, as much as I kinda dislike the use of Spectres, it's really creative. They're only really a nuisance when you're using rockets. But to start the next fight, we gotta go back inside and up and around. There's a switch at the very top. And that starts the next fight. So the blood floor raises up, rocket down the Mank, and then rocket your face on a Spectre. Like I said, they're only a nuisance when you're using rockets. But that guy was from like right at my side. Probably no way I could have dodged that. Bit unfortunate, but not a big deal. Just means I don't really have any armor and I gotta be a bit more careful. Small Cackle Cloud with a Pain Elemental you might have seen. I target that Pain Elemental, and I do shoot rockets at him, even though it could be risky with the Lost Souls flying around. I just get rid of him as quickly as possible. And then finally, the Revenants, which rose up from the metal pillar that was blocking the Caco, like I was saying earlier. Now that this area is done, you gotta do this area in order to go back to the red switch so you can get the BFG. Pain Elemental from the wall. You can just stand there and block him if he spawns Lost Souls though, so no big deal. And this is comp level 2, so if he spawns Lost Souls in the wall, if you hear like the search sound, that's probably just the Lost Souls in the wall. And now I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to play carefully since I'm really low on health and there's a lot of chain gunners, so just kill them all. And there's the BFG, but I'm not going to grab it quite yet because that triggers the next fight. And before I do that, I do want a little bit of health because the next fight can be a bit scary. And I used all the health in the outside area, so I gotta backtrack all the way to the start. I don't know why I'm blowing up these barrels. Don't know why I'm bothering. 95, that should be good. I think I find a stim pack, yeah, right there. And you gotta hit the switch to open the door. I don't really know why, but whatever. I forget that a few times in this demo. Now that we've gotten our BFG, just a bunch of high tier enemies, but you can just run down this corridor where the Spectres were and let the Cyber deal with a good chunk of them. Of course, look out for any infighting rockets. And you're gonna hear that wake up sound a lot because this is comp level 2. But yeah, this map uses no boom like actions or anything. And it's super impressive. Comp level 2. Give him a nice 2-shot. We can move on. One Revenant left, and he shoots a homing missile, and it's an 80. Because of course. I think I literally sighed when I got hit by that 80. Just like, of course, it had to be an 80. But yeah, hitting that switch twice raises up the lift to the very top. And I'm backtracking again to see if there's any health around, because up that lift is a few chain gunners, which, judging by how they how the previous chain gunners tore me apart, I would prefer to have a little bit of health. But sadly I used all the health, even at the very start. So yeah, no point in coming back here. Just wasted time. So I gotta deal with those chain gunners with 45 health. And I go up the lift just to see if there's any, like, health up there either. I think there's a few health bonuses at the computer area map secret, but... Oh, I didn't even explain the computer area map secret. If you jump out this window, there's a switch that opens up behind you. You can see it there. Shoot that, and then open up this door. It lowers this teleporter, but it's actually like a lift. It's a bit weird, but whatever, it works. And you can go up here, grab yourself the computer area map. Got that at the very start. I just got a bunch of secrets that I could get at the very start. Whatever was available. But yeah, gotta deal with these chain gunners with 45 health. But thankfully there is a nice secret up here you can grab. Before doing that, blow up the barrels and shoot that switch for secret mega armor. So your effective HP goes from 45 to 90. And then another archvile around the corner. And of course, he had to get stunned and peek around the corner, resurrect a chain gunner. Not a big deal though. Now we can go back down and do the rest of the map with BFG in hand. You can actually do this area earlier than the red skull if you have both the blue and yellow keys. There's 6 keys in this map. The skull keys, the key cards. You just need a yellow key, either the skull or the card, and a blue key. So it doesn't matter if you have the skull or the card, just need either of the two. But they need to be blue and yellow, and you can do this area before doing the red skull area. To get to the other areas, well, first, before I forget about this area, kill the Revenant. There's a nice stim pack here as well. Lower the lift, kill these chain gunners because why not? But I'm not going to ride up the lift right away because that's an area I don't really want to deal with right now. We're going to take the other path. And to get there, go back to where we initially grabbed the SSG. With the, just the area where, like, the computer area map secret is. And we're going to go on the right first. And I was getting blocked by something. I was worried that there was an enemy beneath me, so I made it like a point to remember to see if there was an enemy there. And then I completely forgot for the rest of the map. I don't actually know what blocked me because there was no enemy there. Bit of incidental combat here. Kill the chain gunner. Don't hit that switch quite yet. We're gonna lower that wall. Hit that switch instead. BFG the archvile that is released. Chain gun down these sniper imps. Now we're in this area. You can grab yourself some more shells to the right. Yeah, we're just going to deal with all the incidental stuff in this area. I absolutely adore just how non-linear everything is. Like, switches that lower random walls so you can keep progressing. I love it. Tourniquet's just so creative with his progression. Blowing up that barrel. Just to see if I can kill both the imps at the same time. Grab a rad suit. Grabbing the rocket launcher reveals a few Cacos, Hell Knight, Pinky. No big deal. And another Spectre, which I could have rocketed my face on, but thankfully I didn't. Pressing that switch reveals an archvile, and I thought there was a wall, like, instead of a window there, but, so I did get zapped, which was a little stupid, but What can you do? A few specters in the nukage here. And going around the back opens up a wall with 2 revs and a Hell Knight. There's another rad suit in there. And we're going to do this area next. This area needs the red key. You can get here a different path though. Through a different path. Just this path requires a red key. Use shotgunners and chain gunners. Make a jump for that stim pack. Because this is probably I would say maybe the second hardest area in the map. So pressing the switch after grabbing all the items lowers the walls, pre-fire a few rockets so you can start killing those imps right away. And there's 6 arch vials, 3 in each closet. I blow up the imps in the previous closet, so the arch vials will be busy resurrecting them. But the other 3 in the left closet will likely come forward, so gotta deal with them. But yeah, you do want to keep the arch vials in the right closet back, resurrecting those imps. You got plenty of rockets, don't worry about your ammo. And there we go. No damage taken. Now this area, grab the Megasphere. Pull out the BFG, because we're going to use 2 BFG shots on each Mank group while the Spider Demon shoots us in the back. And yeah, I just BFG spam this area, but you can take a lot of damage really quickly. Kind of unfortunate that I lost most of my Megasphere, since I do like to hold on to that for other areas, but once again, it's not a big deal. Health at this point is a lot more plentiful, and if you know where the secrets are, armor is also fairly plentiful. That switch there releases some cacos. I actually missed that in my second casual playthrough, where I was creating practice saves. So I made that a point. Hit both of these switches, or else I'll miss those 4 cacos. Run along the ledge here. A pain elemental opens up after the fights. You can get yourself a nice cell pack. And the yellow key where the Spider Demon was. And we are done with this area. Grab another rad suit. We're going to go for another secret. A lift behind the slime fall. Now SSG, they SSG down this Hell Knight without even being able to see him. Can ride up. Just a few random enemies here. And in the crate is a secret mega armor, and you can open up the window just for a nice view. Not sure why, but hey, you get to see a nice view of the map. It's a very pretty map. Now next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves the blue key card, which has gotten through that switch we skipped initially. Where we lowered the metal pillar for the second switch. This switch here, just use a BFG shot, kill that archvile right away, and none of the revenants died, so had to move around, do some sick dodges. But yeah, I try-harded that area because no revenants died. I did not want to make any more stupid mistakes after the all the high damage missiles we took. But now we can go to the left path, just chain gun down some low tier enemies. And this fight here is like surprisingly difficult. This next fight here, just kill some more low tier enemies. The fight starts when you hit that switch. And what I do is use one BFG shot on the enemies that lower in front of you and one on the pinkies and specters behind you. It just creates a lot more space so you can have this area here to SSG down the rest of the enemies. But yeah, there's like a lot. Even if you didn't have the BFG, there are a lot of mid-tier enemies here. So space is a lot more restricted. It's seemingly easy, but without the BFG, this fight is actually pretty difficult. And I kill that Mancubus a little bit far away from the armor, because when you walk in here, pillar lowers with an Archvile. Just SSG him down, use no big threat. Grab the rest of the ammo in this area. And we gotta hit some hidden switches. This is a very weird secret, because the hidden switches reveal more switches in the walls. And then the vent there reveals a third switch. And this is how you get the blue skull key. It's a very, very weird secret, but yeah. I would assume, I'm not too familiar with like comp level 2 mapping, but maybe you have to hit those multiple switches, like the switches that reveal more switches. Maybe that's because you don't have access to like boom line triggers with like voodoo dolls and stuff. But I'm not sure. I only ever have mapped in comp level 9 and comp level 21, so yeah, don't take my word for that. Next fight here, BFG these specters. I would recommend using another BFG shot on those pinkies there, because I saw that specter coming from my right and then I rocked in my face on a normal pinky anyways. And by this point I'm panicking, so what I do is run around and just use some more BFG. I try to limit my BFG usage, but because I was panicking, yeah. Used a bit more. I think I used one more shot than I normally do in this area. But it's completely fine. You usually have cells left over, so don't worry about it too much. Next fight, lowers 2 Archviles, and a bunch of zombie men. Just use 2 BFG shots on the Archviles. If you're lucky, you can kill them both in one BFG shot, or just use one BFG shot, finish off the other with SSG. Completely up to you. I was just playing it safe and decided to use 2 BFG shots. Another random building here with some enemies, but also it's got our next secret. Shootable switch way off in the distance there, lowers this crate, which lowers another switch, which lowers the Megasphere. And I saved that Megasphere until we're basically done with this area in its entirety. So I'll come back to this area a bit later. It also reveals a little cackle cloud. Just rocket them down. And this area also allows you to deal with this area from behind, which is a lot more beneficial because not all the enemies wake up at once. So you can take your time with these Mancs. Sniper Rev, just rocking them down. Some imps. There's some enemies on the floor. Another corridor with a wall opening up. I told you, Tourniquet loves that kind of stuff. And then there's some enemies on the floor there, so you definitely want to lure them away. Right now, I just want to use a rocket on these imps. Just blow them all up. So lure them away, then you can drop down so you don't get blocked by infinite height. And normally there would be a spider demon here behind me, but because we came from this side, we lowered her to the very central area. This switch is what normally would lower her. Now, moving on to the next area. Pressing that switch lowers all the walls. And a bunch of hit scanners. What you can do is rocket down the mank and let the splash damage leak and kill most of the hit scanners. And one rev as well. And yeah, you see there's like a bunch of weapons that we've already gotten in a bunch of areas. That's just in case, because there's so many different paths you can take in this map. It is super non-linear. That Tourniquet just placed a bunch of weapons everywhere in case you miss them or whatever. I don't know. Like you could, like that area we just did, you could do that area like 5 minutes into the map. Super non-linear. But yeah, this is the spider demon that lowered earlier. Just used 2 BFG shots. You get 2 nice cell packs from her. And the yellow key card. And now, I'm going the wrong direction here. Not actually. I kind of forgot what I did in this demo. But right now, I'm getting the secret megasphere that we lowered earlier. Because coming up is probably the hardest fight in the map. We are going to do the finale. And yes, you can do the finale really early on into the map, actually. Like, I have 5 keys right now. You only need 2. 2 of any keys to do this finale. But I want to bring a megasphere here. Use 1 BFG shot on these pinkies and another on the pinkies that teleport in behind you. And now a bunch of revs woke up on the other side, and I want to make the cyber and fight with as many of them as possible. The pinkies and stuff you can kill yourself, but I like to make the cyber in fight with the revs and the cacodemons. So the next thing I try to do is get this cyber out into the open area so he can start killing some of these cacodemons. But most of the time he's really hesitant to. Thankfully he managed to get out pretty quickly. Sometimes it takes a while for him to just walk through a door because he's a big stupid idiot. Like this. He just refuses to walk through the door. Now what I like to do here is, while he's infighting, I like to just get a nice point blank on him, but I couldn't find a good opportunity to, so I just had to two-shot him. He killed all the cacodemons before I could find a nice opportunity. That switch right there is the exit, so don't hit that. But now that we've done the finale, just gonna go for any other areas that still have been unexplored and the 3 remaining secrets. Up here, there's an area we missed. Yeah, on the, I don't know what area you would call this, but there's a blue door down there. Again, requires any blue key with a switch. You can see that supercharge down there. I really like this area. It lights up. I use a BFG shot on one Arachnotron and the Pain Elemental, and another on the other 2 Arachnotrons. And there's some revs that ambush you behind the walls. Just get everything centralized. And I keep using SSG. I could use rockets just to speed everything up, but there are specters in here, and I've learned my lesson with these specters, so I just decided to SSG down the other enemies. hidden switch right there. Very hard to see. But it lowers this wall, and it brings you to the red keycard area. Now this fight, if you don't have a BFG for this fight, this is easily the hardest in the map. And you gotta keep lowering walls, which reveal one arch vial for the first 2 in the sequence. The third one reveals 2 arch vials, 1 on each side. That second one didn't die in the BFG shot, which was surprising. So I had to just chain gun him down. He was really weak though. And then the last one, 3 arch vials. In my first casual playthrough, I didn't get the BFG until the very end of the map. So I had to do this fight with plasma, and which is a lot more difficult. Last switch just reveals a group of Hell Knights, and within this tunnel is the exit to this area. But first, blue light on the side there, and it lowers that secret megasphere you might have seen earlier. Grab the rad suit because we got a phase 2 to this area here. 1 BFG shot on the shotgunners and the pain elemental, and then I want to rocket down that lost soul, but I unfortunately missed. So just rocket down the Hell Knights and Barons, and then the sniper revs. And this phase raises up the lift, so you can go onto the next area. And that's basically the final, like, somewhat difficult fight in this map. The rest is basically incidental combat, and then of course the last secret. Pressing this switch lets you go back, but first I want to lower this lift. The another 2 enemies I missed in my second playthrough, some revs, so I made that a point as well to not miss them. I only did 2 playthroughs of this map, honestly. Once casually, and then the second to make practice saves. 5 enemies left. They're all located in the final secret. And to get there, we gotta go all the way back up, and then jump down to the switch we hit where we got the Berserk at the very start of the map. I wasn't talking about it because I was talking about the 1 map WAD thing. And then this switch opens up after the red keycard area. Just kill the revs and the 2 arch vials. Lowers the lift for a secret BFG, even though you can literally get one at the start of the map. And that is it. That's everything. But yeah, if you did the red keycard area first, like if you did the arch vials with like plasma or rockets or whatever, then you can come to this area, and then you can grab yourself the BFG. But I find it much easier to grab the other BFG first. Now, going back to the starting area, and to the exit. And that's it. Altitude by Tourniquet. So yeah, this is the first in the 1 map WAD alphabet series. And yeah, Altitude, very, very good map. I only really discovered this map because of the Sawed Off WAD series from Mount Pain, and I'm really glad I'm very familiar with Tourniquet's works. I've played Miasma, I've played Mutabor, I've played like his Slaughtermax map, but Altitude was one that I had never heard of before the Mount Pain series, so yeah, I'm really glad he introduced me to that. and I couldn't really think of any other one map WADs that start with A apart from this. And it turned out to be a super enjoyable one, and I'm really glad. Also, this is the only max, like, I know one other guy has a max of this on YouTube, but this is the only max on DSDA right now. I submitted this to DSDA, because why not? And, yeah. The one map WAD alphabet series, starting with A. Next up is going to be B, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's going to be a big one, for sure. So, I guess I will see you then. I'm really excited to start this series. I think it'll be really good for skill improvement, because it's going to be, like, one map WADs are, I feel, notable for being, like, pretty long. Like, of course, this is going to be a 40-minute video, so it's going to be a very long video. One map WADs are typically, like, very long, very notable. I don't know the right word, but, like, and of course, fairly difficult. Like, I think one of the big skills I'm going to get from this is, like, endurance. Like, I'm going to be able to do a lot longer demos, maybe like nerve control. I don't know. I'm not making sense anymore. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in letter B. Have a good one.